So many people have been asking about our wonderful formulas for pets' wellness. And so today I just wanted to take you on a journey of like how we do it behind the scenes and just kind of go through the formulas as I pack up some orders that came in overnight. And just to let you know that we have this incredible company that we do all organic, holistic wellness for pets. And so with that, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to start packing up some packages. Be sure to follow my other YouTube channel. It's called Michael the Pet's Journey, and it's in the link below in my on my channel. So be sure to follow that because I'm trying to get that boosted up so that I get all the pet parents over there because we're going to have some incredible experts coming on and sharing the best way to keep your pet well. People ask me all the time, what should I be feeding my pet? What should I be doing with my pet? You know, what kind of food? What about allergy medications? You know, what about fireworks? And so we're going to actually be talking about all that on my other channel. So everybody, please do me a favor, start subscribing to the Pet's Journey. It's down below in on my channel, and let's take it from there. So today, this is kind of like what I do every day. Is I wake up and I um, start getting all these notices from our website, and we start to fill the packages. And so today, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to adjust the camera here just a little bit here, just to get there. We go. Okay. And so here's our lab. This is where I do most of my work. I do my design here. We formulate here and we do everything here. But the most important thing is we get to package our formulas and get them out to you and start working with your pet, bringing it to the optimal health that it can be in today's times. A lot of people will take their pets to the vet, and this is kind of like where it all started for me, was that I was doing a foundation that was doing a pet rescue in Malibu, and during the event, after we had designed it and got it going, all the pet parents started getting together, and I started talking to pet parents, and one thing was a common note amongst pet parents was like, how, you know, every time I take my pet to the vet, it's either narcotics, it's Western medicine, it's, you know, steroids. I wish there was something else out there. And so I kind of like my first thought was, wow, I'm going to find a vendor that has something like that and bring it into these events that we do and actually allow pet parents to take advantage of their product. And unfortunately, the more and more I looked for it, and Serge and I even looked, and we started looking at all the CBD stuff out there, but that CBD stuff for me just really didn't work for me too well because it was kind of like their claim to fame is one thing fixes all. And that's really not how our health is. You just don't go to one doctor and they fix everything. You have to go to specialists and you have to have things that actually pertain to that particular issue. You just can't take one formula for everything that's going on in our life these days. So I made it my mission to find something. And back in, I think, 2005 or 15, somewhere around there. That's a big time span. But Bravo called me and asked me to be on the Housewives with Lisa Vanderpump and actually do her foundation, which she launched, was actually saving pets from being eaten over in China at the Yulin Festival. So I was on the Housewives. Yes, I worked right next to Lisa. You can find me on one of the episodes. I don't know what episode it was and when, what season. But I'm there helping design the event and just promote the event with all the people. And once again, I heard the exact same thing from all the guests that were there. The housewives is was the same thing. It's like, God, I take my pet to the vet and it's all narcotics, it's all Western medicine. And I really, really want to find something different, something holistic. I treat myself holistically. Why can't I do that for my pet? And once again, it just really launched me into finding it. And Serge and I happened to be in an event at the park that Lisa Vanderpump threw in West Hollywood. And we came across this guy in his little booth, and his name was Dr. Kyle, and he had these formulas there in little brown boxes. And I'm like, what's this? And he said, well, this is Eastern medicine for pets. And I'm like, what? And he caught my ear. And I was like, what do you mean Eastern medicine for pets? I've been looking for something and I haven't been able to find anything out there. And I said, how did you come across this? He goes, well, I'm an Eastern Chinese medicine doctor and I do this for my patients. And I went to go see my brother in Las Vegas and I saw that his dog was scratching up a storm. And I was like, what's going on with Zoe? He said, and his brother said, well, for the last year and a half, we've had her on the steroids. We had her on the, Aberquel and all these different things. And then she started having hot spots, and hot spots are where a pet's allergies get so intense inside their system that they start to lick and lick and lick, and they actually lick away the skin or the fur and leave this raw skin, and it becomes a hot spot. And we call those hot spots. And she had tons of those all over her body. So so he says, well, let me just go back and let me just try something. Let me research about pets and let me do my homework, and I'll send you something that I would make for my clients. And he did, and he sent over an allergy formula to his brother in Las Vegas. And within a week, his brother called and says, oh my God, Kyle, this is amazing. She stopped scratching. I haven't seen her stop scratching for over a year and a half. And then a couple weeks went by, his brother called him again. He's like, Kyle, her hair is starting to grow back in her hot spots. And Kyle's like, oh my God, we're onto something here. He's able to help pets. So he was sharing this with all his clients in his office. And one client says, well, God, my pet's really anxious and she's always nervous whenever I take her to the vet or I bring her in the car or, family come over. She's just really anxious. And he goes, well, let me make something for you. So he made a calming agent for her, Eastern medicine, and gave it to her. And sure enough, she came back. She's like, my dog's never been more calmer. And he was like, wow. And the same thing happened with another client. Her dog was older, had arthritis, a lot of pain. And so he said, well, let's make one for pain. So he had one for allergy, one for calming, and one for pain, and they were just doing dynamic. So we met him in the park, and I was like, oh my God, I heard the stories, and I just fell in love with the product right there. But he's like, I know who you are. Here's a box of it. Take it to your rescues that you guys work with, because I know you guys work with a lot of rescues, and give it to them and see what their experience is. And sure enough, Serge and I grabbed the box, and we went to our rescues. We handed them out. And within the week, we were getting phone call after phone call going, oh my God, I can't believe this works. Where did you get this? Where did you get this? And it was then that, along with Serge, I just sat there and I'm like, I think we found it. So we went back to Kyle and we said, hey, how can we work together? How do you want us to do this? And he says, well, I've been looking for a partner. He goes, I know who you guys are, and he goes, I know what you do in the community. He goes, I would love for us to become partners. And so we became partners. And so we redesigned. Serge and I went to the drawing board. I redesigned all the packaging, and these are all the characters here that you see behind me are on our packaging. And this is Robertson right here. In fact, it's kind of cute that I didn't plan this, but Robertson's behind me right there. So we redesigned the whole packaging. We formulated everything into a 2-ounce, and we just went through all this, and it was during the pandemic, so everything kind of was really slow for us, but it gave us enough time to really dig our heels into designing the packaging and making the product the best product that it can be. And it's all natural, it's all organic. And today we are now in pet stores across the United States, and we're helping thousands of pets all across the US. So I want to say, if you have a pet, be sure to reach out to us. Our website is in the link below. And once again, please follow me over on the Pet's Journey, Michael the Pet's Journey, and start following me there, because we're going to have so much information there about your pet's wellness, whether you have a dog or a cat. We even work with horses, and we work all across the United States. Like I said, we ship. In fact, let's go to the shipping table right now. So this is my shipping table, and all these little pink slips right here are orders that came in overnight. And I've already started, and you can see that I've got some already packaged up, and this is our packages, and we ship all around the United States. this next year, we're going to be breaking through the American border to the international border. So we will be shipping internationally next year. But this you have to have. If you guys are frustrated with what you've been getting from the vet and it's not working for you, because a lot of stuff, just like us, just like humans, a lot of the stuff that we get for ourselves, it's usually just a band-aid. And it's there to kind of like mask the issue, so the issue may pass at one point, but it's not really there to attack the issue. Where the Eastern Chinese medicine, which has been around for thousands and thousands of years, this is not something that we decided, that Dr. Kyle decided to do overnight. He went to school to study Chinese Eastern medicine for his clients. And so that's exactly what this is. This is Chinese Eastern medicine for pets. It's the exact same thing that we do for clients. And it's all organic and all holistic. And what's really cool about our products is that they are all human grade. We kind of joke a little bit that we've tested them on human and now they're made for pets. I have a really cute story that I'll share with you. I had this lady call me, and she was on the East Coast, an older lady. And she was saying to me, she's like, I've got this little rescue. I just rescued him. And he is just a nervous wreck. Every time my kids come over, every time my grandkids come over, my great grandkids, he just shakes and he's nervous and he's just, she goes, what do you have? And I'm like, well, you need our No More Drama. And that's this formula right here. This is our No More Drama. So you can see right there, I know it's backwards for you guys, but this is our No More Drama. And I said, you need our No More Drama. And she ordered it, helped her out with the order because she wasn't very familiar with online ordering because of her age. And so she got it. She called me a month later and she goes, Michael. I said, what? She goes, I can't believe it. My little one has now become friends with all the grandkids and all my great grandkids. And they were just, she goes, I've never seen him behave this way. She said, thank you very much. She goes, I have a question for you. I said, what's your question? She goes, well, as you know, I have grandkids and great grandkids, and I'm 83 years old. And they come from all different states around the United States to come visit me. But when they come, I always end up getting one of their colds. You know how kids just are like this ball of, I don't know, this cold, that cold, just from school, all these, infections and all this kind of stuff. So she goes, I always get a cold. And she goes, it's just always, it takes me a couple of weeks to get over them. And I said, well, you need our No More Drama, or not our No More Drama. You need our Forever Young. And I just saw someone post in the online there is that she's got her pet on Forever Young. And so this is our Forever Young. And she goes, what? She goes, me? Take one of your products? And I said, yeah. I said, you could take this. It's human grade and this will boost your immune system. And sure enough, she called me up another month. She's like, Michael, she goes, I can't believe it. I'm not getting sick. So the same formulas we use for the humans, we use for the pets. And it's all organic, it's all holistic. And because of her insistence of like using our longevity, I use our longevity in a pill form. A lot of our clients now are coming to us and saying, God, what do you have for us? When are you guys going to make our formulas? And just a little bit of secret right now is we are in the process of creating our human line that will probably come out probably the first or second quarter of next year. And you can not only just order it for your pet, whether it's a dog or a cat or a horse, you can actually order it for yourself as well. And this here, the longevity has been just one of the ones that I've like really loved, because people, when they go to rescue pets, they usually don't get a puppy. They get a dog that's in their older age and just, getting near golden years. And we always say, once your dog gets in golden years, you want to get this for them. You want to have this every single day in their system. You could put it on their food, you could give it directly to them in their mouth, but if you give this to them twice a day, I have one person that I see often, and he has a dog, Scotty, and Scotty's in his golden years. He's like 12, 13 years old. And I sat there and I said to him, I'm like, you know what? And it's a really good friend of mine in a meeting that I go to. And I said to him, I'm like, well, let me sponsor Scotty. Let me give you some Forever Young. Let's see how Scotty does. And I just saw him just last week, and he came up to me. He's like, Michael, he goes, I can't believe this. He's like, Scotty's acting like 5 years younger. At night, he used to like lay down, just crash and hit the bed hard. And now he's at night, he wants to play ball, he wants to go for another walk. And this is not the first time we've heard this. The Forever Young has so many incredible herbs inside of it. It helps boost the immune system and makes them stronger and helps them fight off anything that's coming at them. It doesn't cure anything, I have to say that, because people are like, oh, cancer. We actually had a friend of ours who woke up one morning, her name was Maggie, and she was a white lab, I think, and she had blood running out of her mouth. And he's like, oh my God, she broke a tooth chewing her bones. She loves her bones. So he's like, runs her to the vet, and the vet checks her out, and he goes, you know, Alan, I hate to tell you this, but it's not a tooth. She has cancer all throughout her body. And she probably has maybe 6 to 8 weeks. And he goes, well, can we do chemo? Can we do radiation? And the doctor said, you don't want to do that to her at this stage. You want to take her home, make her comfortable. She loves you, you know, you love her back now. This is the time for you to give your love back to her as much as she's given it to you. And he goes, well, what do you think about Eastern medicine? And the vet was kind enough to say, you know what, we didn't go to school for Eastern medicine, so by our bylaws, we can't really talk about it. And he goes, well, I've got these friends that have this product that they're just bringing to market, and it's Eastern Chinese medicine. He goes, well, if they're your friends, I would reach out to them, because herbs, the Chinese medicine can do a lot. And so sure enough, he reached out to us, and we got her on a regimen, the no more drama, just to keep her calm, and the longevity. And where the vet originally gave her 6 to 8 weeks to live, she ended up living a year longer than expected. Now, we can't say that it didn't cure the cancer. It didn't do any of that. It does nothing to do with the cancer. But what it did for her, it boosted her immune system so strong, we feel that it actually just pushed it back and just slowed it down. So we just think that that's the magic behind the Forever Young. It just gives you a strong, strong immune system. And that's what we're looking for, even for ourselves. You know, we want that strong immune system. So that's our Forever Young. So if you have a dog in their golden year and they're your best friend and you want to treat them with the best love in the world, get them some Forever Young. Give it a try for a month, you know, and you're going to see a difference. And I guarantee you're going to be wanting to have it on a reorder just so that you have it there all the time and just be able to give it to them twice a day, because you're going to give them something they haven't had in a long time. You're going to give them a boost of energy, a boost of joy, a sense of feeling better and wellness that they haven't had in a long, long time. So be sure to get the Forever Young. So now I'm just going to take you through what I do, how I pack it up, and I'm going to move you guys kind of over here for a second. Okay, let's see here. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm back. Ouch. See, I need ouchie now. No, joking. Still working out I got this little thing that moves with me. And so I'm just testing it out. So this is what I do here inside the office is I sit here and I know, haha, Brooke. So what we do is we print out these packing slips. And these packing slips says where it's going. And this one's actually going to go to Phoenix, Arizona. And she wants EAT. EAT is this formula here. EAT creates a stable gut and allows them to have a better appetite. It stimulates their appetite. It kind of balances out their system. And so a lot of people, this is like actually one of our biggest sellers as well, is like the EAT formula. Just gives the animal an easier way to digest their food. And so this is our EAT. And what we've done is we package it like this. We put a quality control label on it. And then we include a little sticker with it. And we just seal it up. put it in one of our fancy pink little bags. Everything's got to be color coordinated for me. You guys know me, I'm just like so anal about all that stuff. And I put in the packing slip. Zip it up, put the label on it, and voila. And this is gonna go to a happy little pet in Arizona. So this is kind of like how I spend my morning. I get going and I get to actually share all our wonderful formulas with so many wonderful pets and pet parents. And what's really beautiful is like we have some pet stores that actually carry our line here in Los Angeles that I'm good friends with, that I've become really good friends with. And they actually said that our formulas, they haven't only changed their clients and their pet's life, but we've changed their employees' life, because the pet parents are coming back into the pet store going, oh my God, you've made my pet's life so incredibly simple with your formulas. And we're so grateful because my pet's happy and I'm not having to take him to the vet and give him steroids or shots and Western medicine. And that's one of the beautiful things about us, is the fact that this is all natural. And I see a lot of people going, well, are you in, Atlanta? Are you in New York? We're all across the United States. You could just go online. The link's in my bio down below. You can link into it. Just go there and you can order it, and we ship all across the United States. And we do ship international right now, but it's all that we have to fill out a custom form, and we do that for you and all that. And so sometimes I see that it goes right through customs right to your door, and sometimes it gets stopped and you have to pay custom fees. And so we do that. We're trying to make that a simpler process for the New Year's. That's why I'm saying our big launch is going to be next year. But if you have a pet and you're in the UK or you're in Canada and you've tried everything else and you want to try our formulas, we can ship it to you. It just takes us a little more time to get it to you, but you can have it. So, okay, so this one's going to Heidi, and Heidi is getting yucky fungus and no more drama. Let me tell you about yucky fungus. So this is, let me open this up here. So this is our yucky fungus, and this is a big one, okay? This is once again, we have, some formulas that we carry just because we want to carry them, so we cover all the top issues for pets. And some of our formulas are really in demand, and this is one that's always in demand. And this is called yucky fungus, okay? And so it's our yeast formula. So if you've ever had a pet, or if you have a pet, dog or cat, once again, it works for all. So you see, so here we have a cat right there, that's Pico. We have a dog right there, that's Rodale. That's Melrose. What I'm wearing right here on my shirt is Robertson. And over here is Beverly and Sunset. So those are all our characters on our bag. So, so yucky fungus, let's talk about that. A lot of people will go to the vet and they'll give them just, once again, a Western medicine hoping to kick the yucky fungus. Yucky fungus in a pet is really, really tricky. It's kind of like, I always kind of describe it like a toenail fungus. If you have a toenail fungus, you guys, if you've ever experienced this, how long does it take to get rid of that toenail fungus? It takes a long time. And so when you're going to the vet, you're paying those big vet fees, you're going there and they're just giving you basically a Band-Aid to kind of settle it. But a really easy way to identify if your pet has yeast is smell their ears. A lot of people will say that it smells like corn chips. And even like their body, if you smell their body, especially like in between their paws, it'll smell the same way as their ears smell. And that's yeast. And how yeast comes across is that if your pet has a lot of allergies and they go unchecked for a while, it starts to kind of like build up inside their system, and it gives the gut a chance to start building yeast because it's not expelling it. And so the yeast starts to build up, and that's where you start to get that stinky dog or cat smell, where all of a sudden they come up to you and you just gave them a bath, and 2 hours later they're up on you and you smell that odor and you don't know what it is. That's likely to be yeast. So that's where yucky fungus comes in. And when you do that, like this one right here, they're not getting the other one that I always recommend to get with this. But here is, let me grab this one right here. So this is our allergy formula. So if your pet has allergy, the first thing you want to do is let's start getting the allergies in check. And that's with our itchy scratchy. And so with itchy scratchy, that will help reduce the histamine in their body, start working from the gut level out, and actually start to reduce that itchiness that they have, and really start helping if they have hot spots to help heal those hot spots with them, as well as the allergy gets diminished inside their system. But if you haven't got a head start on the allergy, especially during allergy season, the fungus will creep up on them. And yeast is really hard on a pet. Our pets are like so stoic that they won't tell us how they're feeling, but they're not happy. You know, they'll seem to be happy, they'll be excited to see you and all that, but really if they have yeast, they're really miserable. So you really want to kick it in the butt. And the trick is, a lot of people will go ahead, you know, they'll see our formula, they'll buy our formula, and they'll see results in a couple weeks, and they're like, oh, it's gone. No, we say that you have to use this a minimum of 1 month, twice a day. By giving it to them 1 month, twice a day, we're really attacking it. And even like a toenail fungus, remember I was talking about toenail fungus earlier? You know, you may look down and say, oh, it's gone, and all of a sudden 2 weeks go by and all of a sudden it's back again. It's just the same thing. It kind of hides out for a while, and it kind of like pretends it's not there, but actually it's still there. So you really have to be diligent and help cure the yeast out of the pet system. So minimum 1 month of yucky fungus. And if you really want to like attack the yeast and the allergies together, you can use both of these at the same time, so that you can start to reduce the histamine levels, which is causing all that itching and scratching for them. And then they'll be able to be, you know, more peaceful while you're going through this process. But yucky fungus is like one of our big sellers because it's not a Band-Aid. It works from the gut level in and goes out through the system and fights the yeast and rids the system of the yeast. So once again, guys, you know, if your pet is suffering and you smell that smell in their ear, get them yucky fungus. Okay, so then let's go ahead and package this up today. And so she's got, once again, this particular Heidi from New York. She's from New York. She's ordering yucky fungus and no more drama. And once again, no more drama is for that anxious pet. So she's got an anxious pet that has yeast. Now, I'm game to say that once we get the yeast in control, it's likely that a lot of that anxiety that the pet's going through will probably start to diminish a bit, because the yeast is driving them just crazy. And it does. They sit there and they'll scratch their ears or trying to lick their paws, and they just don't stop, and they're just like a nervous wreck. Well, it's not because they're just, you know, an anxious dog. It's just that they're being attacked by this yucky fungus inside them, and they just want it out of them. And so it just distracts their everyday, you know, life. So let's package this one up here. And once again, you guys, the messages, the phone calls I get every single day thanking us for what we're doing is just amazing. And it's just so special. You know, you guys know I'm a designer, and I design homes here in Beverly Hills and have done really big projects. And I worked with all these Beverly Hills housewives, and it's really funny because like now they're like, Michael, where are you? Can you come design this for me? Can you do my bedroom, my bathroom? And I sit there and I jokingly say, I always say to my, and they're my dear friends, and so I could say this and get away with it, but I always say, hey, I've traded you two-legged bitches for the four-legged bitches. It's just kind of funny because you know how they call female dogs bitches, so, and they laugh, but yeah, and every once in a while I'll still do a project. In fact, we're doing a project tomorrow for one of our clients, and we're doing a really, really beautiful Christmas install for a client that is here in Beverly Hills, and I love it. I love doing Christmas. I love designing trees. I've done a lot of crazy trees. I've done trees for Drew Barrymore. I've done trees for the Spelling family. I've worked with a lot of the heirs to the Walmart fortune, and so it's just like I get in. What's really cool about it is, and I don't drop their name because I'm dropping their name. It's like what my favorite thing is. I love to work on a project that I don't have a budget, because it allows me to have complete freedom of creative design, and what comes out of that is just truly, truly beautiful. My trees, you know, I think you guys might have heard this before on a live, is when I was in my 20s, my mom worked on the show Love Boat. And so I used to work on the show all the time in the background because they always needed a kid in the pool or whatever. So I was always on the show. And one time I had an art director walk up to me from another show I was on called Silver Spoon and said, hey, Michael, there's this guy coming from New York that's doing Christmas. And he's a celebrity designer in New York, and he's looking for an assistant. And he goes, I think you would be great for it. Would you like to do it? And I said, I would love to do it. And so that was back in the 80s, and I started designing Christmas trees for the celebrities. And it was really, I mean, it was something that I never thought I would be doing, is professional Christmas trees. And they weren't even like, they were art. They were really just art, and it was like so fun because we did this one tree, and it was at the Beverly Wilshire Hotel in Beverly Hills, and it was sponsored by Cartier Jewelry, and we put $10.9 million worth of jewelry on a Christmas tree in their lobby. And at the time, it was the world's most expensive Christmas tree, but now you can imagine Dubai has far surpassed that tree. But it was really just a really fun project to work on and be able to create Christmas. And I became a Christmas designer, and I just never thought I'd be doing that, but I really love doing the tree. I really look at the house, and my trees go, you know, all different colors, to traditional, to very avant-garde, to kids' trees, and since we're in the holiday season, so that's kind of like what we're doing tomorrow, is working on a client, her Christmas tree. And so here we've got another one. This is, once again, she's ordering EAT for her pet in Illinois. So she's in Northville, Illinois. So once again, for all you people saying, do you ship, can I get it here? Can I get it there? You could get it anywhere in the United States really easily. Just go on our website and set up an account and select what you want, and we can have it out to you. Usually if you buy it by 3 o'clock Pacific time, it'll go out that day. If not, it'll go out the next day, and you can select whatever type of shipping you would like to do. So you can have it anywhere in the United States. Someone asked me, how was it to work with Lisa Vanderpump? Lisa, you know, these women, you know, on the Housewives, they're all characters. And a lot of it's, even though they say it's reality TV, a lot of it's scripted. So you see, you know, you see more drama than there actually is. And, you know, some of these ladies have become really good friends of mine, and they're just really, really sweet and just lovable. And some of them are just who you see, you know, you see that craziness, and you got to realize they are doing this stuff 24/7. Lisa does this 24/7. She's got her restaurants, you know, she's no longer on the Housewives, but she's you know, now she's got this event chateau, I think in France right now, that she does her show in France. But these kids just, you know, these kids, these ladies just, you know, they just don't stop. They don't stop. They just go, 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 go. And I see that with my ladies in Beverly Hills all the time, is that they just go. They, you know, they're always looking for the next project. They're always looking to be out on in public, and just, you know, it's kind of fun. It's been a different, you know, one of those things that I never thought I'd be doing, but I definitely enjoy doing what I do. And you know, you guys know I'm an advocate for the kids. I'm an advocate for the pets, and I'm an advocate for everyone just to really have a beautiful life that's in alignment. You know, we always want to be in alignment. We want to be the best that we can be. We want to be, you know, we want to have compassion for everybody. We want to like share that compassion with everybody, and because we never know what the other person's gone through. We never know the heartache or the struggles that they may be going through at the time, and we just, you know, always try to have compassion for everybody. There's been a lot of you know, there in the past few months, there's been a lot of noise, let's say, on YouTube in our community, and I just, you know, I just hope that everyone can like put that noise behind them and really focus on what we're doing here, because our mission is about the kids. We're here to help the kids, and have them have happy, joyous lives as much as possible, and help them get out of Scientology. But today we're talking about pets. So let's continue to talk about pets. So once again, this one here is going, another one to Arizona, and it's another yucky fungus. And you'll see that I'll be packing up a lot of yucky fungus today, and I will be packing up a lot of Eat today, and some No More Dramas and Forever Youngs. And those are our top sellers. We do have others. We have one that's called Ouchie, and that one's for pain. And what I'll do is, once I get through these packages, I'll kind of give you a rundown of all the formulas that we have. For a second here. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I think they're leaving a message. I have to like learn to turn that off, because that's annoying. Am I frozen? Maybe I'm not frozen to you guys, but I'm frozen to me. Anyway, so one of the things we do have as well is, if you have an issue with your pet and you really don't know, okay, let me see. Yeah, somebody's leaving a message right now. Hold on, guys. One second. Serge. Okay, we're back. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so yeah, I got to remember to turn off I have to turn on the do not disturb, because when they call and they leave a message, it goes black. I hope you guys can see me again. Let me know if you guys see me again, because I see me again, so I'm thinking that I'm back. Okay, great, thanks. Great. Okay, so this one, once again, is going out to Arizona. So we'll go to our next one. So now this is kind of like what I was talking about earlier. This order here is for the yucky fungus and the itchy scratchy. They're using it in combination with each other because their pet has allergy and they have the fungus. And it's really smart to do both of those formulas together, because it really makes a big difference in helping fighting the yeast when you use them together. So what I was saying, why we went black there for a second, was that if you have a pet going through something and there's not a product on the market, or you don't know what you can do for your pet, is actually on our website. We offer for anyone a free 15-minute consultation with Dr. Kyle where you can actually, share what's going on with your pet. And if we don't have a formula that is already pre-packaged and on our shelf, we will actually do a custom formula for you as well. We do custom formulas. So the characters, let's talk about the characters a little bit. So all our characters, like I said, this one right here, this is Rodale, this is Pico, this is Melrose, the guy I'm wearing right now is Robertson, and this is Beverly, and this is Sunset. On our website, you know how they have that little search bar and you could search things? You could actually search Meet Pico. And by doing that, you will actually come across Pico's story. And it talks all about who Pico is. And Pico's story, I'll kind of paraphrase it right now, is where a family went down to Mexico and they were at a holistic retreat down in Mexico. There was mom, dad, and a daughter, and the daughter was out walking around in this, in the town, came across this bush, and the bush was shaking, and she looked inside the bush, and there was Pico, or little Rodale, and he was a nervous little chihuahua. And she's like, oh my God. So she grabbed a leaf off the tree and she poured some water and handed it down to him. And he started drinking the water. And the next day she came back and she brought some food from the retreat that she was on and gave him some food. And before they left, they fell in love with him and she snuck him back on the plane. And he's been on our No More Drama since he's been from Mexico. And now he's a celebrity stylist to the stars in Beverly Hills. So they all have fun stories behind them. We have a comic strip that we created for magazines that Serge and I designed and put together. We actually put it, it's inside of a magazine. Here, let me see if I have it. I'll show you guys. Hold on. You love this magazine. So here's the magazine. And then, let's see here, let's find it. So this was a friend that we met at, we did a Oscar lounge in Beverly Hills, and she was there promoting her magazine, and she saw us and learned about our formulas and was so excited about our formulas. She's like, oh my gosh, she goes, I want you guys to advertise in my magazine, and she gave us a free space in her magazine. And on the other side of the page, she, as I'm looking for it, where is it? Of course, it's like, you know how it is when you're on the spot, you can't find something. Okay, let's see here. I know it's here somewhere. From this one and this one. It's here. So she created this magazine, and it's so cute, and she has like stories, and she does all these really creative photos with dogs, and people just adore it. And she can be found online. Okay, so here is, and I know it's probably backwards. So this is our little comic strip that we did for the magazine, along with our ad of all our different formulas. And I almost feel like I need to like actually print these in reverse so that when I show it to you guys can actually read it with me. But Sandy, hold on, I want to just share this with Sandy real quick because I saw that I adopted a failed pandemic breeder toy. Breeder has in fear, anxiety, aggression on walks because she's never walked or socialized with anything. So Sandy, you need to grab our No More Drama. Get the No More Drama for your little toy, and you'll start to see. And what's really interesting, what we found is that some dogs, once they're on our formulas, especially like No More Drama, because I've done a whole series on the pandemic puppies, and that is a really, what happened is like during the pandemic, everybody went out and got puppies. And they were just like, because they had nothing better to do, they were at home locked in, and some of them were single. A lot of them were single, and they wanted to have a companion, so they went out and they adopted a puppy. And what happened is once they got adopted, once we started opening up the world started opening up, the parents started their life again, and they started going out shopping, they started going to work, they started going to their families, and their dogs never had a chance to get socialized when they were young during the pandemic. And so then they get social anxiety, one, and then they also get separation anxiety because they were so used to being with their parents 24/7. So that's what we call a pandemic puppy. So with the No More Drama, that will help ease that. And there's a couple of tips to that. If you've got a puppy, a pandemic puppy, which is now a dog, most likely, um, you want to like give it to your dog. You want to start the No More Drama like 20, 30 minutes before you're about to leave the house, or if you're about to go out of the house or out for a walk. Because that it takes about 20, 30 minutes to get into their system and allow them to calm down. And one of the tricks that I always tell people is, and people don't know this sometimes, is like when you're leaving the house, be sure to always have your keys already in your purse or in your pocket, so that when you're getting ready to walk out, you're not picking up those keys and jangling them right there, right in front of your puppy, because what happens is they hear that and it triggers their anxiety. So that's just one little secret that I've learned with from the trainers that I work with on my YouTube channel, The Pet's Journey. We talk about this, and you can there's a few on there that you can actually look at right now. I'm getting ready to start bringing my people in. All of those I actually did during the pandemic, and they weren't live. They were just audio versions of conversations with professionals all around the world, pet professionals, and there's a lot to learn there. So be sure to like, once again, follow my YouTube channel here. Let me show you the. So this is, so it's called The Pet's Journey by Michael. Okay. So be sure to follow this, you guys. And I don't know if you can scan that or capture that and then scan it later, but that will help you take it to. But it is on YouTube, and you can find it in my link down below. But you definitely, if you have a pet and you want to learn more about how to be the best pet parent, check it out. Okay, let's move along here. We now have another one, and this one is for Forever Young and Eat. And this one's going to Texas. So this is off to Texas for a little furry family in Texas. So we've got Forever Young and Eat. Once again, you guys, Eat. You see how often we package up our Eat? Eat is like really great formula for our pets. And one of the things I want to show you guys too is like all our formulas, they come with a syringe like this. And on the side of the syringe, you can see that it has 0.5. It has, here, let me see if I could get this here. It has 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2. So this helps you dose your pet. And what you do is you just open up the top of our formulas, and in the very top, there's a little hole, and you just put that in there, you turn it upside down, and you just pull out what you need, and you can either give it to them in their mouth, or you can actually put it in their food. Yeah, Sandy, that's, but it's, you can change that by the love and calming and just giving them all that, it's step by step. So definitely check out my YouTube station, for pets, and look at pandemic puppies. We talk about that all, you know, different tactics on how to like help break that pandemic puppy and bring them back to find their alignment. Because what's happened is they're like, they get so out of alignment because like when you leave the house, they're like, oh my God, I'm going to be alone. And because they're so used to, you know, you being there. So just, yeah, definitely, you know, grab one of our No More Dramas, get your little toy on the No More Drama, and start working with them. And then there's someone else. Look at my 14-year-old Chihuahua has separation anxiety. Once again, you want to get No More Drama. That's this formula here. And you guys, what I'm showing you too, just so you guys know, I'm all about being as green as possible. So you'll find this in stores, and inside this is the same thing that I've been showing you, is this. So when you buy online, you'll be receiving this. We don't ship this because it's just, most people end up throwing this away, and we just want to, you know, save, you know, the disposables as much as possible and not have that much waste. So you'll be receiving this with your order, but this is what you want for your separation anxiety. Sandy, how it works is it's Eastern Chinese medicine, and it works from the inside out. And if you go on our website and you look at the list of herbs on No More Drama, we have probably about 15 different herbs that are inside there. And each one of those are there to come. And then the dosing is all based on your pet's weight. So you've got a toy. So on the packaging, and once again, it's backwards. I'm going to definitely have to print this backwards so that you guys can read this. But on the packaging, it will say, like, let's say your toy is, how much does your toy weigh, Sandy? Like 8-10 pounds. So you would give 0.25. And so on the syringe, here is 0.5 right here. So you're just going to fill it up to right there. And that's how much you give them. And that means that this bottle will last so long for your little toy. And it's great for, you know, when people are talking about anxiety, for separation anxiety. The other thing that we do, oh, it's not backwards? Oh, thank you, Amanda. Yay. Yeah, so 6.6. So you're going to give 0.25 of our formula. And that's halfway between the first mark on our, so that right there is point, I'm trying to see if it focuses in because it's trying to get me instead of that. So right there, you see where it says 0.25, you're just going to fill up halfway in between there and give it to your little toy. And I always say it, and that's just a suggested dose. If you find that they still have a lot of anxiety, especially in the beginning, they have a lot of anxiety, you can go up to 0.5 and it's not going to hurt, you know? So this is herbs. There's no danger in giving your dog herbs. It's so healthy for them, and it's so natural. So let's go ahead and move on here. So we got yucky fungus and eat for this order, or itch, yucky fungus and eat. Okay, so there's that. Let's get this. And once again, this package is going to McAllen, Texas. Yeehaw! A little ranch dog, hopefully. Okay, so now let's see where our next one's going to go, you guys. Our next one is going to Arkansas. So we've got eat once again to Arkansas. So that's going out to Arkansas today for this little one. Let's get an eat. And it's, and I say this, it's like, how this all started for me was that I was telling you guys I did an event in Malibu, is that I had a friend of mine that used to work with me, this girl, and she called me and she started working with this lady that actually worked, she was a designer for the movie Legally Blonde, and she designed the clothes for Reese Witherspoon and her dog, and she designed the little carrier and all that. Well, it became such a big hit that that she opened up a store called Fifi and Romeo here in Los Angeles. And so she had like cashmere dresses and shirts and all that for the dog owner, and then she had it for the pet, and they matched. And then she had the dog carrier that would match as well. And so she was the sponsor of this event in Malibu. And so my friend, who was one of my old assistant, Shelly, she called me up one day and she's like, Michael, she goes, there's this group that's putting on this event in Malibu, and they really are lost on what to do. And I told them all about you, and they want to meet with you. And would you be willing to work with a pet rescue? And I'm like, of course I will, and I'll donate my time. They just pay for the products and my employees. And so I went to a conference room to meet with them the next day. And it was funny because like, it just shows you how life is. I walked into this conference room and there's like 30 people sitting around this table. It was a big event, and it was at a house on the coast in Malibu. And I walked in and I looked across the table, and all of a sudden I saw this girl, blonde girl, and I looked up and I'm like, Whitney? And she stood up, she's like, Michael? I'm like, oh my God, I haven't seen you since you were this big. She goes, I know. So we ran to each other, we hugged, and it ended up being one of my clients that I used to work with in Missouri, and they were one of the Walmart people. And she goes, it's going to be at my mom and dad's house in Malibu. And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, that's the universe working at its best for me. It's just like the synchronicity of life and just bringing things full circle. And here I am back at their house now in Malibu, designing this big event. And it was like really beautiful. It used to be Julie Andrews and Blake Edwards' house, and it was just a stunning property. It had a road down to the beach. It had the house level off the PCH, and then it had another level that was where the office and the workout room and just the beautiful view of the Pacific Ocean was. And so we had the main event, we had the welcome event on the main level, and then we went up to the top level and had the big event on the top level, and we had a fashion show for the pets. And because Fifi and Romeo was involved and they were the sponsor, I designed everything like the store. And we had a pet fashion show, and it was all very French and very Parisian, and it was really beautiful. It was really, I just had the most incredible time. I designed the Arc of Triumph that was like where people could walk through it. I had a 40-foot tall Eiffel Tower, and I was like, once again, when I can work where there's no, restrictions, and I could just do whatever I do and be super creative. I just blew this event out of the water. I even had, and this is really cute, you guys. I went to the Malibu courthouse and where they pull permits and all that, and I'm like, can I get a permit to get a hot air balloon on the beach? And they're like, oh, absolutely not, absolutely not. And I'm like, ugh. Well, I'm a bad boy sometimes, and so I went ahead and I had a hot air balloon on the beach, which was on the lower level, and people would pay additional $100 to get into the hot air balloon, and then we'd let it go up, and they'd see the middle level, and then they'd see the top of the event at the very top level. And it was just an incredible experience for people. We didn't get in trouble for having it, and people just loved it. And it was just so fun, and people just were just like they were just having the time of their life. Well, once again, you never know what life is going to give you. And if you're open to the possibilities, allowing whatever you want in life, and you really put the energy out there, and you just come from love, and you just come from that place of alignment. You guys, you've heard me talk about this before. You come from that place of alignment. A week later, I get a phone call from Yana that had Fifi and Romeo. And she's like, Michael, we just wanted to thank you again. We can't believe what you did. It was absolutely beautiful. And if you guys want to Google it, it's called Pause for the Planet. And I think there's like 20 Getty images online that you can actually take a look at the event. You can see it online. And so anyway, so she's like, we just love, love, love what you did. And she said, she goes, Michael, I have a question for you. I'm like, what? She goes, we'd really like you to design one of our stores in Tokyo. Will you do that? And I'm like, and I'd never been to Tokyo, and I always wanted to go to Tokyo. It was on my bucket list, and I just, I always dreamt of going there. And I'm like, of course, yes. And so she goes, well, I'm going to have one of our guys call you. He's our interpreter, and he's going to be your interpreter for the store. And we're going to fly you out in 2 weeks to meet the team over in Tokyo. And next thing I know, I was on a plane going to Tokyo, and it was so cool because when I got there, I'd been speaking with this guy from a company called Guy, and they did all Ralph Lauren stores here in the United States and all their products and Ralph Lauren clothing and all that. And so they teamed up with Fifi and Romeo, and they were bringing it over to Tokyo. And so I was talking with him on the phone, super nice guy, Japanese guy. And so I, had all my conversation. He's like, I'll be at the airport and I'll pick you up. I'm like, okay. So he was there. And sure enough, I'm just going to grab this real quick. I walk in and he has this little sign in it like this, and it says Michael, right? And so I was like, oh, there he is. I'm like, hi, I'm Mike. And he was so sweet. And he goes, hi, Michael. And he spoke pretty good English, he just really, his English was really good. And so we were sitting there, we're talking, and I didn't realize, getting in the car, I was getting on the wrong side of the car. And so he's like, no, I drive. And so he gets in the car, and it was like this little tiny car, and we're driving through the streets of Tokyo and getting to this thing. And all of a sudden I'm laughing with him. I'm having so much fun with him. And that night he drops me off at my hotel, and he tells me, we will be back tonight and we'll pick you up. I'll pick you up and we'll go to the restaurant and you'll meet the whole design team there that will be working with you. And I'm like, perfect. And sure enough, he picks me up and I get to this restaurant. You take your shoes off, of course, and I see this big long conference table. I'm like, God, how many people are going to be here? And sure enough, there was probably about 20 people in this meeting. And there I am in Tokyo, and they're all looking at me, and I have my interpreter sitting next to me. Yana from Fifi and Romeo flew in from LA as well. They were there. And then Mr. Kimmy, who's the guy who picked me up at the airport, he said to me, he's sitting there, he's doing his little conversation, introduced me to everybody, and not many of them spoke English, so my interpreter was introducing them at the same time, and we're talking, and all of a sudden they're like, one of the people said to me, like, hey, how do you like your trip so far? And it's only been hours, but I really enjoyed meeting Mr. Kimmy. And during the car ride, I'm hitting him, and I'm like, oh my God, you drive like I do in LA, because he was like, and he's just this little guy, and he was just so sweet. And all of a sudden I said, well, I like my driver. He was like a great driver picking me up at the airport. And they all started laughing. And I'm like, what is everybody laughing about? And they sat there and they go, Michael, it's not a driver. He's the owner of the company. He's the owner of Guy. And it was like, and at that moment, like any nerves that I had or any anxiety of being there just fell apart, because I just was like, oh my God, I already had fallen in love with my driver, who was Mr. Kimmy. He was such a special guy that it just took away any anxiety I had. And it was so beautiful, because the next day they picked me up. We were in a big van, and there was another van following us, all these people, and we were driving. And what was really special about the drive was, like, all of a sudden we're going, and all of a sudden it was during the season where the cherry blossoms were falling. And there was a little lady, she was probably, I want to say 80 plus, and she was out there sweeping up her cherry blossoms out of her street and cleaning up her driveway. And I was like, stop! And all of a sudden my guy my interpreter tells the driver, stop, and everybody like, we all do this, and they're like, what's wrong, what's wrong? And I'm like, no, I have to get out, I have to have a picture with her, and they're like, oh, no, that's not, you know, there's etiquette that you have to follow there in Japan, and I studied some of it, but this is one I did not know of. But you just don't ask people to take pictures. You leave them be in their space and respect their space. And I'm like, oh, well, and I was just like this, crazy guy. And I was like, well, can you please go ask her? And sure enough, they went and asked her, and they explained who I was, this designer from Beverly Hills, and come meet this, wanted to take a picture with her. And sure enough, she sat there with her little broom and her little cherry blossoms in front of us. And we took a picture. And that was just kind of like how the whole magic of my experience in Tokyo was. And then I was told we're going to go see 3 locations today. And we saw 3 different locations. And I'm like, well, which one are we going to do? And they go, we don't know. You're going to tell us which one you're going to do. I'm like, what? They go, yes, you pick which one you want to design. And I was like, and that's how much they're like so beautiful. And I sat there and I said, well, I really liked the first one. It had like this little river next to it and a little gondola, dock to it by the river. And I was like going, I like that one. They're like, okay, that's the one you're going to design. The crazy part of the story is that when I designed it in Tokyo, once they signed the lease on the building, they have to have the place open to the public within 30 days. And I was like, wow, here I'm in Tokyo, and now I have to go back to the United States and design this space within 10 days and send it to them, within 10 days, so that they can actually start building it within 30 days, because they get fined every day that it's not open. And sure enough, we were able to pull it off, and they ended up sending me this really nice bonus because I did such a nice job. And really, it's like I just was inspired by Fifi and Romeo. She had all the designs already. I just put it together and made it fit the space, and it just turned it out so beautiful. And what was so cool about being in Tokyo and seeing the other stores that they had already designed a Fifi and Romeo there was that I was able to see all these young girls with their little dogs, and they were dressed identical to their dog and their dog carrier. And it was like such an amazing thing, because it was like, when we opened up the store, it wasn't like a few people showed up. Thousands of people were in line with their little dogs waiting for the grand opening of the store. And it was just one of those beautiful life experiences that only the universe can bring it to you if you're open. And and that's kind of like how I've always lived my life, is I've always been really kind of just open and just said yes to everything and allow everything to come to me. And so that was my experience with Fifi and Romeo. And that's how I ended up, getting to design a store, is by designing the event in Malibu. And it was there that I fell in love with pets again. And I wanted to make a difference. And that's how I started my journey before I even met Serge, on finding a solution for pets that was holistic and all natural. And that's, and it was really beautiful, because if you think about it, like, while I was over here doing this, Dr. Kyle was over here doing this, creating these formulas for his brothers and his clients and all that, and putting together his little company and all that at that time. But the universe brought us together. And, and Serge was right there with me at that time when we met Dr. Kyle. And it was so beautiful, because he was in his process of making the magic, and I was in my process, and Serge joined in the magic, and Serge and I were doing the magic. And we were just, we got on this mission, and today, we have the most incredible formulas for your pets. And they're all holistic, and they're all, it's such an honor to be able to share this with you guys. And if you have a friend that has a pet, share this with them, because that's the joy of what we're doing, is like, we get to bring a different experience to the pet wellness community. And it's all organic, it's all holistic, and it's all natural. And with that, I'm going to jump to the next package. Okay, so this one is Itchy Scratchy. And this one is going up, another one to Arizona. Well, you can think about it now. Let's talk about Arizona. Arizona's dry, hot, dusty. So that's a big allergy state. So of course we're doing an Itchy Scratchy again to there. Those pets probably get hit hard during the allergy season in Arizona because of the climate. So let's go ahead and get this itchy scratchy. And this is going to Jennifer and her little furry family. How exciting. One of the things that we do is every time someone buys one of these, buys one of our formulas, we create this package for our rescues, and it's called the New Pet Parent Kit. And it actually comes with a pre-filled syringe of No More Drama and a pre-filled syringe of our poo-poo problem. And that's for diarrhea. Because when people rescue a pet, the pet has anxiety. You've got to think they're going from one place to a facility, and now they're going to a new home, hopefully their forever home. And so they may have anxiety in the car ride there, so they have the No More Drama to calm the pet, or even calm the pet while it's getting acclimated to the new space. And as we all know, is if you don't change their food slowly, they're going to end up with diarrhea. So then they already have this in their cabinet for the diarrhea. So this, when anyone buys any one of our packages, any one of our formulas, with each order, we put one of these aside, and at the end of the month, we call up our shelters and our rescues that we work with, and we donate a bunch of these so that they can hand them out to the people that are actually adopting the pets, and that's why we call it the New Pet Parent Kit. Eventually, what I've decided we're going to do with this as well is we've had hotels come to us, and they like our products and all that. So this is actually going to be our hotel product as well, so that when people come to the hotels with their pets, there's one for anxiety, for once again the new environment, and poo-poo problems in case they get into something that they shouldn't get into at the hotel and get diarrhea, and we don't want that inside of a hotel room. So this is going to be in the gift basket for the pet at the hotels. So the New Pet Parent Kit. A lot of people say, can I buy this? No, you can't buy this. This is just a product that we do for our rescues and will soon to be for the hotels. But you can buy these individually, full size. And everybody, you should, I always say this, with your pets, you guys should have one of these in your cabinet. This is called poo-poo problem. You want to have this on the shelf so that in case your pet gets diarrhea, you're not running around town trying to find something that's going to actually work, or have to run to the vet and have them give you some narcotics or Western medicine that's going to clog them up. You want to do this. This is all natural, and it's a natural, it starts to firm up their poop. So this is a fantastic thing to always have at home with your pet. This one right here, no poo-poo problems. Okay, so let's see where our next one's going, you guys. Our next one is going, it's right here in Los Angeles, California, and she's getting an ouchie for her pet. So her pet's probably in some sort of pain, so we're gonna get an ouchie out to them. And what's really, what I do always too, is if they're in LA and they call me, if they wanna come by and pick it up, they could come by and pick it up. I'm always happy to do that. I always carry some in the car with us, so wherever Serge and I go, if someone's has a pet and has an issue or something like that, we can actually have something for them right there on the spot. So once again, this is our ouchie, and ouchie is for pain. It's for arthritis, and this is something really fantastic to know too. Is if you have a pet, there is. Joe, I'm going back to Joe's question right here about an upset stomach and all that. Once again, that would, to balance out their digestive system, that would be our eat. Okay, this would be the one that you might, if they have an icky tummy, this will help balance out their tummy and keep their balance, solid to be able like to digest the food properly and all that. And if you have a pet that actually has gone through surgery or anything like that, and they have a really bad appetite and they're not eating, this actually helps stimulate their eating as well. Okay, so here's this. Put this in there. And with all our formulas we ship out, we always send our little stickers of our little characters, and people love them and they like to collect them, and they all try to get all of them. And you can see this is that picture right there of little Rodale skating because he's happy and he's not full of anxiety. We're almost through our orders right now. I'm sure we've gotten some more online. I haven't checked yet, but this one is going to Wisconsin. So once again, Wisconsin is getting yucky fungus. I feel like I'm on like, what are those shows? Oh, the Home Shopping Network. Hi, welcome to the Home Shopping Network for your pet. I'm Michael, and today we're going to be discussing your pet's health. So crazy. Okay, let's get this out to Wisconsin. Caroline, here comes your yucky fungus, Caroline. Okay, we got one more on my list right here in front of me. And this one, again, here in Los Angeles, this is going to Long Beach, California, beach city here. And this one is eat. Once again, eat. Okay, so that's all our packages for this moment. We'll check back on our site just before we go to the post office to fill the last ones for the day. I just want to say, you guys, okay, I'm going to pull this out real quick. Hold on. So we have pet stores across the United States, and we have more pet stores coming online always. And this is actually what you find inside the pet stores. This is our display. And so I just wanted to go down the run of all of our formulas so that you can. Okay, so always be kind. So, what are you feeding your pet? Let's start there. What are you feeding your beagle? Let me know what you're feeding your beagle. Okay, so here we've talked about this. We have no more drama. And this one here is this is for calming, for anxiety, great for fireworks. A lot of people, they don't realize it's like pets are so sensitive. And during the 4th of July, it's not just the the first bang of the firework and the sound of the firework, but it's also the the impact that it has on our air, and it travels, and so that hurts their ears, and they get really nervous about that. So this will help them calm down. And there's like, and I do have on my YouTube channel something about how to better prepare your pet for the fireworks. So check that out. Okay, the vibrations. Thank you, hippie chick. So that's our anxiety. Once again, we have our allergy. This is for seasonal allergies, sneezing, mucus. You know, a lot of pets will get that mucus inside the eye here that just seems to go on and on. This will help with that as well, and all the itching and scratching that they will have. Here we have the pain one here. You can see little Melrose there with a little sling on him, and Pico with a pain in his back. So this here, I wanted to share this earlier and I forgot to continue to talk about this, which I get so distracted sometimes, but that's just who I am. Let's talk about, because like, you know, like Always Be Kind talked about our beagle earlier, and I'm not sure what you feed your beagle, but this is important, okay, to know. Is I love the fact that she was aware that she didn't want to keep feeding her beagle and get her beagle overweight. On my, I'm not sure if it's up yet, but I visited with an orthopedic surgeon for pets in Colorado. His name's John. And he works with a lot of pets that have arthritis, hip dysplasia. And so he taught me something that I had no idea. And I'm sure a lot of you guys don't even know this as well. So I'm going to share it with you today. Is like, if you have a dog, you want to have a dog that their body doesn't go square, or even more like this, okay? You want your dog to have this really nice little hourglass figure, okay? And it's not about the dog being overweight, underweight, or whatever. It's about finding the optimal weight for your pet. Because what happens, and this is same with cats as well, what happens is every extra pound that they have on their body that their body wasn't designed to carry, it actually puts 14 pounds of sheer pressure on their joints. So if a dog is over 2 pounds overweight of their ideal weight, you've got 28 extra pounds of pressure on their joints. And you're talking about every joint is trying to carry that extra weight. So you have to really look at putting them on, you know, a food plan that keeps them at their ideal weight. Okay, so talking about food, Always Be Kind just said Pro Plan Sensitive Stomach Salmon Formula. Is that a Purina product? Where do you get, now let's go one more step. Where do you get your product? Because there's a lot, and the reason why I'm asking this and the reason why I'm sharing this, and once again, another expert that I had on my show, his name's Ryan Yakima, and he writes many, many articles about pet nutrition in all the pet magazines across the United States and around the world. And I was blessed to have him on my channel at one point, and we talked about it. And okay, we'll talk about Purina in a second, okay? And what he said is that kibble, let's talk about kibble. Kibble, the way that when he got out of university becoming a nutritionist for pets, he started working with Purina. He started working with the big brands. And what it is like these big brands, they don't make their food necessarily. There's manufacturers that they buy the food from, and then they put their label on it. And then they have the manufacturer actually mix the ingredients or change the ingredients around so it looks like their ingredients. If you look at your packaging, okay? Always Be Kind. I want you to look at your packaging. If you look at your packaging on the back of the label, because on the front, it will say one thing. Healthy, you know, lean salmon, da 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 da. But if you look at the back and you start to look at the ingredients, start to see what the ingredients are. Salmon should be the first ingredient, if not the second ingredient. If salmon kind of follows down the line and then all of a sudden you get a lot of these additives that you're like, what's this? And at the very end, these companies, what they do is because the food doesn't meet the standards that they're supposed to meet, at the very end of their ingredients, they'll say added vitamin this for this for this. And a lot of that is synthetic and not natural. So it's a lot of, it's kind of like, I always say like, and I have to say this, I love me a quarter pounder with cheese. I don't know what it is about a quarter pounder with cheese, but from time to time I get a craving for a quarter pounder with cheese, and I'll have a quarter pounder with cheese. And it's not good for us. The way they make the patties, what they put inside of it, the byproducts, the chemicals they use to stabilize the product, it's just not the healthiest for us. And I know that, but still, I still eat it. But some of this food out there for our pets is designed like, let's say, one of those hamburgers, right? That we don't know what's really in it, but there's a bunch of stuff that's not just meat, but the list is this long of ingredients. They've got so much stuff in there. You're like, what? They've got grain, they got this, da, da, da. The best thing, hippie chick, if you really want your, not hippie chick, be kind. If you really want your beagle to be healthy and satisfied, 100%, think about what we used to feed our pets before there was pet food. We feed them table scraps, whatever was left over in the kitchen, they were getting all human grade food. By buying these products off the shelf, a lot of times this is far from human grade food. You wouldn't eat it, but yet you're giving it to your pet. So my whole philosophy is like, let's give our pets the best possible life ever. And sometimes that's not easy for us. You know, sometimes we just can't pick up a bunch of groceries and feed our pet, okay, and make food for our pet. But that's ideally the best thing you can do for your pet, because it could be that your beagle is eating and eating and eating, and there's so much fluffy additives to that food because you're just buying it off of a shelf from maybe like a large pet brand company. We have a couple here, Petco, PetSmart, and those companies, you have to think, they're big boxes and they're there to push product and sell product and make a lot of money and just sell product. And I mean, it's great. They have leashes, they have all these other things, but when it really comes down to making food for feeding your pet, think about what you're eating for yourself. So you wanted like, just like our formulas, they're all natural, they're all holistic, they're all organic, and they're the best thing you can do for your pet. So you want to do the same thing with their food for their gut, for their system. What happens, we say there's this thing called a poop test. Okay, so when your pet eats, of course, like all of us, we poop. And if you pick up the poop and it's kind of like mushy and kind of not hard, but not firm, but just kind of, I don't know what the word would be, mushy. It's called the poop test. And you want to like get a glove and maybe squeeze it. I hate to say this, but you may want to squeeze it, okay? And feel it. And if it just kind of like squeezes like putty through your hand, their poop's not healthy. And if that's the case, you want to have a pet with healthy poop. Who thought we'd be talking about poop today, right? And so what you want is you want their poop to be firm. You don't want it to be rock hard, solid. That means there's not enough moisture in their food, okay? And it's very dry. Kibble is like one of the, you know, and I hate to say this, but in the industry, behind the scenes with all the nutrition, they have this term where they say kibble kills. The way they cook kibble, and this was explained to me by Ryan, and this is pretty hard to hear, but I'm going to share it with you guys because I know you guys love your pets and you want the best for your pets. And you see Joe there saying, my dog loves when I make rice and chicken. Of course, because it's all natural. And so when you're like, if you can't, or you don't have the time or the know-how how to do it, but it's easy nowadays. You can find recipes all over line. There's a website called Balance It, and it really gives you all the, okay, in your experience, what is the best food by short of making your, there is one called Instinct, okay? And it's a freeze dry that you can get that is better than kibble for sure and better than most wet foods out there, okay? So it's Instinct, INSTINC or something like that. Wow. Okay, so let me back up. Kibble kills. So how they make it, and I didn't know this. Remember I was talking about like all these big companies, Purina, all the companies, they don't make their food. They buy it from a food maker, a pet food maker, and they make it for everybody. So then they white label that product to be their product. I mean, how many of you, let's look at this, okay? Think of this. When you guys go to the pet store and you see a, let's say, dog food bag of kibble, and it's got a wolf on the front of it, what does a wolf have to do with a dog? Nothing. Yeah, they say somewhere down the line they kind of were, you know, part of that pack and all that, but it's all, what Ryan calls it is called puffery. They get you to look at the packaging. It's shiny, it's iridescent, it's like metal, and it's all these things. It's all just advertisement. What you always want to do with any food that you're actually feeding your dog or cat, you want to flip over the backside and look at the ingredients. I mean, just like if you look at our ingredients, it's all herbs. We don't add anything. We don't add flavoring. We don't add anything. Okay? The only thing we add in here is a glycerin, and that's the carrier. And the glycerin is 100% organic food grade glycerin. And so, once again, our products are human grade. I could take it, you could take it, and it's great for your pets. But the way they make kibble is these food companies will go out to all these farms and buy up their meats that they didn't sell to the markets. And they'll buy them up. And sometimes they throw them into like this big container. And when they sit in that container, sometimes it could be days, maybe a week or more. And the meat starts to deteriorate, get bacteria, get fungus, or just it becomes unhealthy as it is. So what they have to do is during the process is they take the meat out, they take it and they dip it into a chemical that sterilizes the meat, takes away all the nutrition, takes away all the quality of that meat could have for the pet, and also kills all the bacteria and anything that's grown since it's been sitting there. Then they cook it. But by the time they cook it, there's nothing nutritional out of the meat. And that's why if you turn over the package on most kibble, you'll see that the meat is one of the listed as like the third or fourth, fifth ingredient. And then down below, you see all these additives to it because they have to bring that product back up to the industry bylaws and standards that it has to be to put it to market. So that's why, just exactly, Joe, just like processed food. It's just like processed food. You know, Serge and I every once in a while we'll see something in the store and it looks like it's going to be good, and we get it home, we cook it, and all of a sudden we start eating it, and all of a sudden, like, one of the things that we had recently was like taquitos. We all love taquitos, right? And so you just pop them into the air fryer and heat them up real quick and get some sour cream and avocado and you eat it. But the interior of it, I was like, what is this? And I looked at the ingredients, And lo and behold, it was just like all these byproducts, and it had a little chicken in it, and they were chicken taquitos, and there was like no chicken in it, but it tasted like chicken, but it was all mush. And that's exactly like the food that you're getting in the cans, a lot of it. Now, there's been a lot of change in the food market, and there's been a lot of companies coming out and actually producing really healthy, qualified food that actually is really, healthy for your pet. But a lot of it's like in the freezer section now. It's raw, or it's yeah, it is, Joe. It's like, it's horrible. It's like mush. It's like that poop test, right? Ooh. But the best thing you can do is cook for your dog. If you can't cook for your dog, the best thing then is, like, at the end of the night when you're having dinner, that extra food, give it to them. Put it on top of their food that you have, because they're going to get vitamins from it. They're going to get food. They're going to get minerals and vitamins that they don't get from their food out of it. So this is just, I just want to just share all this with you, and there's just so much more coming on board. If you go to my YouTube channel, you're going to be able to see, I'm going to start doing lives there. So everybody, if you're not following me over there, be sure to go over there and follow it. If you haven't looked into doing home cooked food for your pet, you might want to like look at that, or maybe look at the packaging and start looking at a packaging that has very few ingredients on the back. The lesser the ingredients, the healthier the food. Remember that. If it's got a big long ingredient with a lot of additives that you can't even pronounce half of them, you want to stay away from those foods, because those are not good for your pet. And so going back to what we were talking about the beagle earlier, is that he may be having like 2 good sized bowls a day, but if it doesn't have all the nutritional value and it's really kind of just a lot of fluff, he's going to be passing that through his system, and he's going to be hungry all the time. And that's why you want to get him something that's going to actually be healthy and really, benefit his body, instead of making him want to crave more and more food. Because, and that's another thing, is if you notice on the back of a lot of the kibble that is out there, you will, thank you, Amanda. There's my YouTube, everybody, be sure to follow that. You'll notice that on the back of the packaging, I'm trying to read comments at the same time. Yeah, definitely. That's a big one, Sandy, is like their anal glands. If their anal glands are getting impacted all the time, it's a sign that their diet is not healthy, and you might want to like really evaluate that too. If you're having to go, because I have ears, you guys, there, I've got Robertson's ears on. A lot of information. So follow my YouTube channel right there, The Pet's Journey. And I'm in the process of getting my lineup of experts from around the world. In fact, I even have some there in Australia, that she's a nutritionist. She's great. Do I have her book here? I don't know if I have her book. Let me see if I have her book, and I'll show you what it is. No, I don't have her book for some reason. I've got to look up her name, because it's her name's. My mind is so full right now. But I just saw this book here. This is my friend in the UK. Her name is Dr. Christina Martinez, and she is a veterinarian. She works with dermatologists. She's a high, she does a lot with dermatology with pets, and it is called the New Pet Parent Book. And this is just a real simple guide if you have a pet that's new to your family, and you just want to know just like the basic ins and out, like when to get them spayed and neutered, and how to, what do you do if you get ticks or anything like that. This is a great book, and you can find this on Amazon. Anyways, so I think I'm going to wrap it up there, you guys. I really want to say Thank you so much for being here. I hope the best for you and your pet always. And I look forward to seeing you guys over on my other channel. And if you have a pet, oh, let's finish, before I go, let's finish this real quick. I know I jumped here and I do that often. So let's go back here really quick. One last note is over here. Oh, there we go. So we did pain. We've talked about longevity. Okay, this is longevity for your dogs that are in their golden years. Anybody's pet that's 10 years or older, you want to get them on longevity, whether it's a cat or a dog, and you'll see within a few weeks they're going to end up having more energy and they're going to be running around. But it's just a sign to show that their immune system is just being boosted, and they're not dragging like they are. So this is a really fantastic formula. We talked about poo-poo problems. The opposite side of poo-poo problems is can't poo-poo. And this is little Beverly there sitting on a pop because she can't poo-poo. This is for constipation. Okay, so if you've got an animal that struggles with constipation, once again, for anal gland relief, this will help with that as well. If they have painful bowel movements, this would be great. Another one too, so you guys know, is this also, going back to poo-poo problems, if your dog has irritable bowel system syndrome, this will help with that as well. This will help get them regular, okay? So that's diarrhea. Our next one, this one kind of really goes towards cats mostly, some dogs that are really short hair and tiny. For UTIs, if they get stones, kidney stones, this helps reduce those kidney stones. And also for the UTI infections, this will help with the UTI, okay? And yeah, I mean, so yeah, Joe, seriously, the IBS, the poo-poo problems, this could be helpful for you. I mean, once again, these are all human grade. They're made for humans, tested on humans, but we packaged them and made them for pets. Then our next one, we talked about this a lot. Went over this over and over, is yeast. So this is great if your dog has got smelly ears, your cat's got smelly ears, it smells like corn chips. Take a whiff, they're suffering. Dogs and animals are so stoked, they don't let you know how they feel, but they may be just so miserable on the inside. So check that out. And then once again, our last one that we've talked a lot about here today is our eat. This is great for appetite, even bad breath, general digestion. If they don't eat a lot, loose stool. So if your dog has a lot of loose stool and it's not diarrhea, this would be your solution there. And nutritional deficiency, weight loss, this would be your guy here. Spine, I see someone said my dog always has spine issues for a long time. She may turn the wrong, yeah. So what you want for your dog always is you want to get the ouchie for her, okay? This is the one you want. Okay, so I just want to say, okay, I think we just kind of covered all our formulas. Once again, if we don't have a formula and your dog's having something unique or your cat's having something unique and you don't know what to do and you've tried everything with your vet, you can always sign on to our website, and there's a box down below all the products that says make an appointment with Dr. Kyle. It's complimentary, and he'll spend 15 minutes with you or more just discussing what his feeling is going on, and if we can do something, we can actually do a custom information formula for you guys. So you guys, thank you so much for being here today. I'll be popping on more about our pets. You'll be seeing me over on the other one, talking really in depth to each one of the issues our pets have. I'll be bringing in nutritionists so that we can even dive deeper into the food situation. I'll probably even get Ryan back on. We could even talk to Ryan live and just have him share his understanding and knowledge about, you're so cute. Sandy, yes, I am selling my artwork. I have, here, let me show you guys this. I don't know if you guys saw me. This, so let's go here. Okay. Okay, come back over here, a little thing. Oh, there we go. Okay. So before we go, someone just asked about my artwork. Yes, I sell my artwork. I sell my t-shirts on my digitalcandyland.com. And here's a couple of pieces. I was just asked recently to go to art community here in Los Angeles called Bergamot Station. There's a bunch of art galleries there. And I did an artist talk there. And I I painted these and then I digitized them. So this is actually called my Pink Boy. Okay. This is Pink Boy. And this was inspired by my visit to the Huntington Library here in Pasadena. And it was an interpretation of Sir Thomas Lawrence's Pinky. And there's a painting he did that was it's called Pinky, and this girl in like this old Victorian outfit. And then also this is called Blue Boy, and this is also inspired by that visit. And it was by Thomas Gainsborough's classic portrait through, it's called the Blue Boy. So this is called my Blue Boy. And so I will be listing these on my Digital Candyland as well. And then the other one, my most recent piece, hold on. My most recent piece that I did was that many of you might have seen, you know, last year, it seems like last year, June, I was attacked by the LAPD. And so I've spent a lot of time still healing and still trying to figure out what happened to my hip, where I've seen a specialist. But this is like my nightstand next to my bed, our bed. And so I actually took a moment and did this piece of art, and this represents kind of like my buddy next to me when I'm lying in bed with my TV controls and everything else. But so that's called A Moment in Time. But a lot of my art, I've got art all over the place, and I sell it. I do commission pieces, and I'm working on a piece here right now that's going to be here in our place, and I'll show that to you guys. And I don't know, I love doing my art. I love being creative. I've been really blessed with my life and being able to do what I get to do and be able to bring joy and alignment to people and just share these moments, because you know, I've been really blessed to have some really magical moments and some really incredible stories in my life, meeting people and being able to have encounters with just really crazy, incredible other creatives in my life. So I just want to say, everybody, yeah, so the link is digitalcandyland.com. And there you can buy the t-shirts and all that, so you can find them, okay, there. And that link should also be down in my bio on my YouTube station. So when you get off, you can find the link to my the Pet's Journey and also Digital Candyland. And I'm always adding more to Digital Candyland. Serge is going to be adding stuff there as well. So everybody, thank you for all your support. You guys have been incredible, you know, especially after this last situation with having to get an attorney. I really, really appreciate your guys' support. I love you guys. Have a peaceful day. Remember, find your alignment and look for the joy in life, and always pivot when something's not right. If you look at something and it's not right, ask yourself, what do I want instead? And pivot and start looking at what you want instead. Because if you do that, you're opening up the universe to bring it to you guys. Okay, with that, you guys, I love you guys. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for sharing this time with me, and I will see you guys soon. Bye, guys.